I done took too many L's, told my niggas
Wins only, yeah. Wins only, wins only, yeah. Wins only, yeah. Wins only, wins only. Wins only, yeah. Wins only. I done took too many L's, told my niggas wins only.
Hey, what's up? This is Candor Culture. Just picking up from last episode when they cut me off about my question. So,
salty.
quick question. In a relationship, a man and a woman, is it fair?
No. Did though.
Well, I tell you, boy, that's the one you gotta watch for. Is it fair to say that you're supposed to go 50-50 in a relationship? Meaning mostly financial.
Financial?
No.
Why?
Because you men are not prepared for what comes. Or y'all have proven, because it's been a 50-50 society for some time. And right now we have all these podcasts and all these different conversations about men who feel like women should do this and that and the third. And I feel like that comes from the fact that there are a lot of men who are not prepared or not accepting of what comes with the 50-50 energy. Because 50-50 means that I may not be as submissive as you would prefer. It might mean that I might not be as agreeable as you prefer because I am a partner. No different than if I contributed more than you. Now I'm a leader. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you want certain things as a man, you have to put yourself in a position to deserve those things from a woman. You can't just...
Certain things like what though?
Like finances. Finance is a big deal. As a woman, like, you know, let's just take out 50-50 for paying the bills. Let's just say like when we go on dates, like there are times where you're expecting of me to pay the bill. Again, there's a different energy that comes with that. If I'm like on occasion paying the bill, my attitude is shifting toward the way that I view you and my responses and how I submit to you. And I think that that's fair. Vice versa. Like if my man was a leader, like real talk, if my man was a leader and he was making more money, or not even making more money, let's just say we're making the same amount of money, but he was just contributing more because he feels like as a man, this is what I need to do. I need to pay the mortgage, I need to do this, I need to do that. We go on dates, I'm paying for this. Then for me, whether I want to or don't want to or believe this before I met him or not, the point is that we're together. I'm recognizing that you are the head, that you are the dominant contributor, so therefore I am naturally submissive to you because of the fact that I recognize you do more for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's not how it goes, though. I mean, I'm just going to pose you for a second. It should never be 50-50. It should be all in the height. Whatever get the job fucking done, man. That will come with knowing who you with, man. 100. Y'all both sat down, put parameters on the relationship. It's petty to be like, it's time for you to pay for this.
But 100, I feel like applies more so when you're married.
No, it
No,
don't.
like, no,
Right,
but like, just see,
alright, go ahead, say your point.
No, I'm just saying, like, in a marriage, I feel like Michelle Obama was just talking about this recently. I don't know if y'all saw the interview she did, where she was talking about how sometimes I did a lot of things, sometimes he did a lot of things, we both did what needed to get done. I feel like that is the commitment that you make at a point where you're married to a person, because now we are one whole. So we are one. We are both 100 in whatever way suits the relationship. However, when I'm courting someone, when I'm dating someone, part of you taking that leadership role is that is your courtship. That is you saying, this is what I want. If your approach is laid back, or I'm not trying to do this, that, and the third, and we're dating, because technically dating is supposed to lead to something bigger, then that already tells me as a woman, there's something wrong here, because you should want the desire to. If I see one of y'all, for example, and I want to be with you, and let's just take the genders out of it. I'm going to do everything that I can do to ensure that I'm going down a roadmap that's going to eventually lead to me having you. If I'm not doing that, if I'm just like, oh yeah, shit, you know, you have a bill, you do this, you do that, and third, because really the only bills we should be talking about when we dating is food and going out and shit. It's not like you paying, you know, rent and stuff. We shouldn't be living with each other if we're not married. So if you can't pay a bill for movies, if you can't pay a bill for a date, if you can't pay a bill for a vacation, and we're just dating, there's a problem there.
All right.
Do the rent change? Let's say you're a single man. You meet a girl. you're paying rent by yourself. Do the rent change or do it go up or go down when you decide to live with it?
Hell no, because
It's the same. It's like it's who you are. It's like as a man, you already know this is what I'm gonna do. Like, period. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with marriage. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that shit. If you've been paying bills or whatnot on your own for a while, or for how long, when a woman come on, like, dog, get the job done. If you in a relationship, married, anything, if you building something with somebody, just get the job done. It's really
What you
not
mean by rent? You saying like if you and a woman live together?
Yeah, but you said you shouldn't live together unless you're married.
Yeah, that's the problem with half of the society right now.
I think you should live together before you get married.
No.
I think you should. I think my bad. I think you should. I think like when you go get a goddamn new car, you gonna test drive that bitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just ain't gonna say I want that car and drive off the fucking lot. You gonna test drive it. You need to go through trial and error with people before you motherfucker.
You can do that without living with a person.
But you need to do that before you marry
So I
somebody.
think
You spend time at my house, I spend time at your house.
Okay, well, I'm cool.
So
with that.
I agree with both of you guys to a certain extent. However, I find that when you live with someone, you see them in a completely different light than if you didn't live with that person. However, to that, I do think that you have to set boundaries if that's something that you're gonna do. You have to set boundaries. You have to have conversations so that both are on the same page. Go ahead, Locke.
What I was going to get to was like knowing whether every person should be self-sufficient. You should be self-sufficient, and why are you getting into a relationship? And why are you looking for a better half, or whatever you want to call it? It's because we must be honest, there are people here are just like needy, and they're just looking for someone to be with so they can have someone to lay their head. And that's men and women. You know what I'm saying? So be self-sufficient, but know that you've met your other half. And it could be polarizing, whatever the case may be. I don't know, like 50-50, what are we talking about? Because it's just like if you're dealing with a certain caliber of man and a caliber of woman, it's going to be 50-50, but it might be in two different aspects, if you get what I'm saying. So like, he may take care of everything, whatever case may be, but you just being that energy that you have, you're going to take care of the other things that while he's spending time taking care of physical things or whatever it's just so hard to explain. Like, you have to do what works for you and your significant other. You can't really generalize that. Like, what works for you, because some women would not feel comfortable with a man paying for everything or whatever the case may be. And that's cool, because that's what works for you.
But hold on, baby. Let me say this. And the reason why I asked that question, because when I'm just strolling on social media, that question been asked a lot lately, like for the past 2-3 years. And you listen to some of the reactions in the comments to some of the women and say, oh, I'm not dating a man that ain't gonna pay that. I'm not going 50-50 with a man. What I need him for? Only thing he good for is a dick. Like, what am I?
Black Widow.
I don't think that's what they mean enough. If I could,
That what they saying?
If I could interject, and it was actually in a sermon I was listening to this morning virtually, because I did not attend church. I'm sorry. But I was listening to it, and it was talking about how the roles in general have all been just all over the place, which is part of the problem. In essence, a man being a leader should never, especially if he has a genuine like and interest in a woman, should never feel weird about wanting to step up to the plate to do that. Like, it should just be organic. No different than a woman, if she really likes a man, is really interested in what's happening in her relationship with a man, should not have a issue with doing something that would be considered a feminine action, like like being like a considerate and empathetic, and what is it called? It starts with an N. What's the word I'm looking for? Nurturing to him. And so I think that's part of the issue. Part of that response that you're seeing is a lot of people just kind of just already fed up, already aggravated. It's not necessarily the right approach, but in the aspect of, I know, like, for me, I'm not interested in living with somebody before I get married, only because I've done it, and only because I feel like, in essence, I think some people have luck with it, but I think that it could potentially be a recipe for a disaster. I do believe in spending a fair amount of time. I was listening to another lady who was saying, which I sent to y'all, if you have a place, a stable career, and a car, then the person you meet should have a place, a stable career, and a car. Meaning, if I'm meeting my equal, a person who already has those things, we should be able to spend relative amounts of time between each other's houses. Okay, I'm hanging out over here, I'm staying here maybe 2 days, whatever, but I mean, I have a kid, so mine's a little different. You staying over here, we're already kind of being able to see each other's structure. I can also tell if you know how to pay bills. If I don't see no damn eviction sign outside your door, that tell me that you obviously know how to pay, you know what I'm saying, your monthly rent, whatever the case may be. And then, in general, because we're only focusing on the getting to know each other phase, friendship, dating, engagement, marriage, if we're really looking at it and we're really going back to the traditional standard, which is what a lot of us should probably adopt, then you eliminate a lot of the bullshit. Because, okay, I've met you, you're cool, you got a place, I got a place, you got a car, okay, cool, we're dating, okay, we're just focusing on doing things together, enjoying each other's time. Okay, now it's getting a little deeper, we're seeing each other through maybe some trials and tribulations, but nonetheless, we're not putting anything additional on each other because we're not taking on additional responsibility. Then eventually we move into something bigger. But going back to what the lady said, there's another video she had where she said, if you're a woman and you have bills or debts or anything infused with a man, which includes rent and stuff, I hate to use the term she used, but she was dead ass right. She said, you stupid and single. Because technically you're single until you get married. And if you want to combine all that shit with a man before he commits to you in full, then that is it doesn't mean you're a fool, but it's foolish behavior. And because I've been a fool, I'm not a fool, but I have been in a foolish position. I recognize the danger that comes with doing all that married shit and not actually being married.
So let me
People
ask a
are
question.
looking for a fucking savior. If you get with somebody, it should be a fucking upgrade. It should make your life fucking easier, man. That comes with courting. Courting, you gotta know, you gotta eliminate. If red flags fly up, you gotta eliminate, man. Look, stop looking for a savior, man. If you get a woman, as a man, it's supposed to be an upgrade. Everything should become easier. If you're a given person, it should be magnified. If, like, it don't matter who paying for what. Get this fucking job done. Go ahead, Ashley. That's all I want to say. As a woman, don't look for a fucking savior. Be interdependent, not like be interdependent. Like, it's cool. Like, if you fall short on this, he should recognize that and pick up the pieces. Vice versa. You're supposed to be with people who do stuff like that. Like this, like nobody should be a burden on nobody.
Right, but what's wrong with the leadership? I guess what I'm
Nobody
trying to figure
should
out
be a
with
burden.
men, but I'm trying to figure out with men, and no shade to y'all men, I'm asking a genuine question. What is so problematic at this point with adopting? Because y'all are the leaders. Y'all direct all of this shit. So, yes, you got chicken heads, they need to get their stuff together. Women, we got a lot of work to do. But I'm just saying, on the men's side, not going back to the women. I want y'all to focus just on men, just for now, and then we'll double back on women. What is so problematic about adopting the male mentality? Like, what a beta male statement is, oh, I don't like that, I'm not finna pay and go, she need to learn how to do. Like, what's the problem with being a leader?
The reason why is...
Well, hold up. What question did she ask?
I'm basically saying, what is the problem with wanting to adopt the leadership attitude of wanting to, like, be aggressive in what you do for a woman?
But the problem is that, okay, y'all stating that the beta male aspect is, it's the same aspect from the late 1950s and all that. When actually women didn't work, all they did was just be at the house and clean up. Now that women got jobs and they can make well. I mean, most women during that time, they stayed at the house, they took care of the kids, they cleaned up. They didn't work. They didn't make any money.
Black men have always worked.
They men made the money. So when you say that, that's when we think about, like, how can we be that when both parties are practically making the same, or even the women is making more than the men?
Okay, but that okay.
Like, how you
Here's
expect
an idea of that. Here's
to
an
be
idea
the
of that.
same
But this is a
when y'all
hypothetical.
making
This
money?
is not pertaining to y'all marriage. I'm just using you as an
Yeah.
example because you're both married. And y'all are both married, right? So y'all share bills, right? Okay, cool. But I'm saying, like, again, this is not real. I'm using an example. You, Teddy, could always, when y'all go somewhere, just as the man, even if y'all split everything else, because y'all have bills together. This is different. Y'all married. Y'all are intertwined financially. When y'all go somewhere, you should be with, oh, hey, I'm taking you on a date. You're not taking me on a date.
Oh, hold on, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. And this is what I do.
Can I say something?
Hold on, before you say something. But this is what I do. As a man, I will always pay for the bill if we're going out on a date. If I don't got it, I will let her know that, yeah, babe, I ain't got it this time. And she, oh, okay, babe, I got it. But
Do that make him less of a man?
like,
Probably not.
I will let her know that I ain't got it. I ain't gonna just go on a date and be like, shit.
But you would let her know before the date, meaning you would give her the option of whether she even wants to go and have to.
Oh yeah,
that's normal shit.
Yeah.
Not everybody do shit normally. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't go on a date with an expect for her to pay for the bill. No, I will pay for the bill, but if I ain't got it,
I'm just kidding.
Can I say something?
if I ain't got it, I will let her know that, yeah, I ain't got it, babe.
Can I say
Then
something?
she'll be like, okay, I got it. Like,
Can I say something?
Okay, go ahead.
Two people in unison, right? If y'all building right, y'all put y'all financials on the table, right? Maybe you make 50, maybe she makes 60, 5 or 6. That's $110,000 a year, right? Right?
Yeah.
You can plan financially. Like, where's the structure? Where's the financial structure? Where's the financial plan? Where's the, I need you in this area, and you can get in this area.
But what phase of the relationship are you in at that point? That's how
it's called building. It's called if you're building. Y'all always want to put a fucking final. I'm not talking from a tradition.
Let's put it in context, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You about to say something profound. I feel it. You about to say something profound.
If I were single and I was going to buy a house, they're going to look at my credit.
Right.
They're not going to look at my boyfriend's credit. My boyfriend. If I'm married, they're going to look at both of our credit. What his credit score is going to impact whether or not I can get the house. So, putting it into that context, I'm right there with you where you are.
Don't do that.
Right there with you where you are. And for me, that's the difference. However, I also feel like your finances don't make you a leader. It's more so about your action for me and who you are as a person and how you, I guess, plan financially. So how much money you have, I don't think measures how much of a man you are.
This ain't taking initiative as a man.
Go ahead.
Pulling your financial shit out and pulling my shit out and putting it on the table and be like, hey, I go to work, this is what I'm projected to make. You do this is what you projected to make. We make this. Now let's break this shit down to how we gonna sustain and how we gonna strive, how we gonna survive.
No,
that's
goes to the person.
That's kind of what a man does. That's
it goes to the person though. You have women that's not even gonna discuss. That's not even gonna go that far in discussing that with you without being married. Now, understanding how much you make, understanding what you can do for me, understanding all of those things is important. However,
no, I'm not saying that.
me personally, would not. Those type of conversations, I don't know, would be in depth if I'm not actually truly considering actually marrying you.
If you're building with somebody. I don't know why y'all think marriage is like the ultimate goal. I really think like a lifetime friendship is way better. I guarantee it's different for everybody on this panel. But like as a man, like I keep saying, I'm talking to Teddy B. Throw that shit on the table. When you want to look, when you want to know, like check your bank account. Say, I just got paid. When you look at your fucking balance in your bank to see what you can do or what you can't do, see, I might have to delay this shit. Yeah. I might have to delay that shit. I might have to. You want to put it all out there so you can see what you can do. You get what I'm saying? The same thing when two people come together. It should never be a burden. Y'all make it sound like it's a burden.
I think it's like sometimes when it comes to the whole 50-50 thing, we lack, like some people lack the understanding of what time and space we're in. So a lot of people want to have this whole traditional man and I want him to pay for everything, but that goes back to the 1940s and 50s where that's why men were getting paid more, because they had to take care of a family or take care of a woman. Or traditionally, you know, you leave your family, the woman leaves home, the man is supposed to take care of everything, you know. But now we're in a different time and era where women are working, sometimes making more or even just as much, and could be doing the same job, I don't know. We have the equal pay thing, and we ain't gonna get all into that. But because you feel like you're doing this and that and the third, you still want this traditional man, but you want to talk to him like you're not speaking to him as in like, you know, the traditional masculine and feminine roles. I hate to say roles, like gender roles, but you know, there's order to things. So it's a natural order to things, and with certain traditional aspects, whatever comes, like I can't even, I wish I would just thought of it a little bit more. So you're gonna, because he's used to just taking care of everything, you're gonna treat him with a little bit more respect.
Yeah, you gotta go all the way through with it.
Right.
Basically, if you want to be traditional, you gotta be traditional.
Or you gotta create your tradition.
Right.
I don't get
even
why.
just going back to the nature of a man and a woman, like you have to keep that in mind. And you could be modern or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, if that man is a certain way, you're going to approach him and deal with stuff. If that woman is a woman, you have to deal with her in a certain way, no matter who has what pay or whatever the case may be, and what's getting taken care of, because you all see the bigger purpose. But at the core of everything, that's a man and that's a woman operating in their natural, you know, energies. So it's just gonna have to be like, you will see, it could be the woman has more income coming or whatever the case may be, but if she just has like this traditional sense, like it's a certain way that she's gonna talk to him and, you know, just deal with him.
As I'm starting to see, I see this shit now. Men are intimidated by women who make more money than them. What you think about that, Teddy B? Not personally, I'm just saying on a general level. I see a lot of bitch niggas. They will drag that woman down because she getting the bag.
Oh nah, bro.
And they make them and they feel inferior in a way because, you know, cause they traditionalists, man. I'm supposed to make more money. That's not the times we live in no more.
But bro,
these women get to a bag. These women are getting to a fucking bag.
Bro, I think it's this though. I don't think they do it on like just because she make them more. I'm not. Hold on. But I'm not speaking from experience because I make them more.
You ain't gotta put that. Disclaimer out there.
But I'm just saying, I think they doing it from a standpoint where, I mean, they're reacting off of emotion and what they see from a significant other. Like, if the significant other is treating them lower than what they're supposed to be, and that's how they reacted, because, I mean, they in that situation. Like, bro, I'm not gonna say every woman is perfect, bro. I guarantee you, some of the women that's making more than a man, they gonna act like, yeah, mama, I can say what the fuck I want to say, and I can tell you what to do because I make more.
But it's not about making more. It's about.
I'm just saying that. I mean, with that situation, sometimes that attitude comes with that, though. Like, if you,
this is what I'm getting to, because men always want to feel like men is not gonna take a leadership role or fulfill a role they don't feel it's a slot to get into. Like, man want to kind of feel like tall.
Top dog, bro.
No, like, if she, like, I need to, you feel me? The nigga is like, I'm trying to articulate what the fuck I'm saying. And it's hard right now. No, a nigga want to feel wanted. It, not even feel wanted, but nigga need to know his role when he engaged with a woman.
Okay, but
in a way, males and men see it, because we supposed to be providers. It's gonna be in the financial. A financial is big.
Yeah, bro.
A financial is big. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's the providing aspect of it.
But see, I
Go
feel
ahead.
like the
Somebody
problem
say
in today's time right now, we just gonna put it all on the table, is that I feel like a lot of men want women to affirm their delusion. And what I mean by that, I'm calling it legitimate
Oh
delusion.
my God.
No,
You
because
just not
no,
saying
feel
that.
me here, feel me here. Because there's nothing wrong with being a man who makes more, a woman who makes more or less. That's not even what I was talking about. I was talking about the leadership aspect, not so much of, oh, I make more money, blase, blase, blase. And again, that's the reason why I separated it between marriage and courtship, because those are two different phases in a relationship. However, what I am saying is that there are a lot of men who are not adequate in the sense, kind of like we were talking about when I sent that video, don't have a car, don't have a home, have baggage, have kids, all this stuff. Which, okay, that's fine. That's what the woman chose, that's fine. But you are asking me to help stroke your ego as a man and make you feel manly and be submissive and feed you and do all this when you are not adequate as a man. Now, I'm not saying that. No, listen, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the general. I'm talking about the general energy. That's a big energy that's happening right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think a woman should stay with a man who's inadequate, because why stay with someone you're going to resent? But nonetheless, in the temperature we're in right now, and what I've seen, what I've witnessed, and what is the mass conversation, is you do have a lot of men who are just not there. They're not attempting to be there. They'd rather sit around and complain about not being there. Being there ain't got nothing to do with how much money you have. It's about the consistency of your manhood. And if you are not that, then you can't be mad like, oh, these women ain't doing this, they ain't doing that. What the fuck are you
Well,
doing?
leave them niggas where they at. We trying to break it down.
It ain't about
trying to
leaving them, 'cause a lot of them don't know that they are.
We trying to compartmentalize this in a way so everybody can understand it, man.
I've been doing that.
Finances are important. When you deal with, like, finances are important.
But what does that say about a man who's dating a woman, only dating, and is already laying out and combining and trying to figure out how to?
That man
maneuver
trying to
finances?
build. He's trying
That
to
says a
build.
lot about you build what? You gonna marry me?
What you think?
Are you interested in a
What do you
lifelong?
think
Are
go
you
with a
interested in a
marriage?
lifelong partnership?
Financial
men try to
is
do
a
that.
piece of the pie.
Is really
Financial
interested
is
in
a
a
piece of the
lifelong
pie.
relationship.
That's why I just go back to
Finances are a piece of the pie.
how I raised my child is whether I had a son or a girl or whatever the case may be, a son or a daughter. Be self-sufficient. Be able to articulate what you need and what you're wanting, but be able to take care of self. And so you don't put yourself in a situation where it's someone that you need, it's something that you want, but you're not relying on them to do things that you should be able to do for yourself. You know, that's where things get kind of, but when you trust someone to do things for you, you know, it's coming from a place of love and care. That's something different. But don't be in a situation because, oh, well, I need this nigga to buy the house and pay for this and the third.
But what I'm saying, that's the attitude that most people have in the masses, but a lot of women not even asking for that.
But check this out.
Half of the time, the woman is already sufficient enough. She has enough.
No.
What she's saying is that in the aspect, I'm just saying,
And that's
most of the women who are
and-
dealing with inferior men are quite sufficient. So that's not the problem. The problem
So
is
why would they even? Why would they go into a pool of low tier niggas just to complain about them?
It isn't about
why not put yourself in an environment where you can get with the guy that you desire?
It's not about.
Why go down there to the low hanging fruit?
It's not about going
Don't go to the low hanging fruit.
into the low hanging fruit, because that's a quick out of what you're saying, and I'm going to get it together. It's not about going into the low tier fruit. Most of the time, But and again, this is something again that I just heard. Speaking back to that lady I sent to you all, it has when you are doing something in life, you attract many things. Some of the things you attract are not going to be for your good. And depending on how good a person is at manipulation, it can come across one way and it can be something else. That's for a woman and a man. There's plenty of men who get caught up with women who come across one way.
So do you got discernment or not? Do you got discernment?
You can have discernment, but are you God?
If you got,
are you actually able to see through people?
Do you got discernment or not?
You're not. You're going somewhere else. I'm saying that you can have discernment. Experience makes discernment, but first you must experience. Meaning that most people you know who are in a certain place have already went through a certain thing. What I'm saying is that because I am not psychic and I am not superhuman, I have no ability to see a person. However, you can have intuition. I think what you're saying is black and white. You can have intuition, but you can have intuition. I'm sure you done experienced some things with a lot of bad people. It does not mean that you don't have intuition. As you go through situations, you become more intuitive. That's dictionary definition. So I'm saying to you that there's nothing wrong with making an error. The problem is how many times are you going to make the same error? Part of my arrogance as a woman is saying, I know what I want, I know what I have, and I know what I'm willing to tolerate, is because of the fact that I have experienced certain things that have made me affirm my position. And if you can't handle it, you've already showed me that you are not the man for the job. School, move the fuck on, next nigga.
I'm questioning your discernment.
You're questioning my discernment.
I'm questioning discernment and intuition. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure, women are motherfucking magical to me. So,
hey, get your words right now.
I say magical. Right. Can I say magical?
Yeah.
They're very magical because they deal into that unseen shit, that intuition, that feeling, that knowing, without even. Ew, man, damn. Without a logical stance. Like, I hear her. But what it sounds like to me is that she might have her, if she have her shit together, she would take her shit that she got together and still fucking fuck with the low-hanging fruit. Instead of going into another environment to where it would benefit her. I'm
here. Am I?
That's what it sounds like. That's why I was saying what I was saying.
So I'm dealing with people who don't have a place, a car, are able to sufficiently deal with their business. That's not the process that I'm going through with dating. Because if I was, I would already be in a relationship with somebody who was like my past. Don't you think? So I'm saying that what I feel like a lot of men do is you penalize a woman, like kind of like Kevin Samuels, where he makes the comments about when the women call and they have kids. Oh yeah, you got kids. Oh, you did this. You need to go ahead. And I feel like that's sometimes the attitude of a low-hanging fruit man, because at the end of the day, it's true. My experience of being a mother and having went through a relationship with a person that I anticipated spending a long term with does not condemn me. It makes me stronger. It only takes a strong man to be able to adapt to that. There's a reason why I have not been in a committed relationship since my previous committed relationship.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you can't, because I'm saying my piece. And then when I finish, then you can say something. What I'm saying to all the women who are watching, because I'm a mom, and everybody else up here is a mom, married mom, formerly married mom. What I'm saying is my experience does not define me. When I ended my experience, I had the option to be like most women who are so desperate and interested in having a male person in their life that they pick what the fuck ever. Me, on the other hand, I said, no, I have a daughter. I want certain things. There's a reason why I'm single. I'm not single because, nobody's checking for me, or because I don't want anybody. I want a certain somebody. Therefore, I will take my time. I'm good at it's okay. I enjoy my free time. I go to movies by myself, hang out with my friends, hang out with other married people, hang out with non-married people, and I'm just going through the motions until that person attracts to me. And I think that if we're going to speak, I'm only saying this because you brought it my way. If you're going to bring it my way, we got to bring it all the way to truth. And you got to be able to handle that.
Discernment, man. Like, y'all, look, I understand. I'm going to digress because I understand. If just for argument's sake, I'm going to bow out. She right.
My thing is you just gotta make sure, like, mentally and emotionally, if whatever you're asking for physically as far as just the role of the man or the woman in your life, make sure they're all aligned. Because a lot of times what I get nowadays, people that want this 50-50 stuff, they may be talking in a sense of financially or like physically, but it comes when you're dealing with life and just like partnership, it's a way bigger picture than just financial. So, you know, a person has to carry themselves a certain way that meets the needs that you have, or not the needs, the desires that you have. And sometimes that's not it. Like, you may have a woman that wants, like, and I'm just using this for general whatever, because it could be flip-flop, whatever. A woman that wants, like, the 50, not the 50-50, I want him to take care of everything financially, but do you know what comes along with that? Just in general. Now, there's anomalies, you know what I'm saying, just in general, that comes along with a man that foots the bill to start a third. Usually he's like in a traditional state of mind. He may be an alpha male, but you have to have discernment and know, like, okay, this is a player. He gets what he wants. He might want you in a collection, or this is just a man that does that. You know what I'm saying? It has like this traditional sense. You have to be able to discern the difference between the two, because you may not be all traditional, and you may not be able to speak to that man the way you need to speak to him, or whatever the case may be, if he feels like he's making these type of moves. So that's just why you have to kind of be in tune with whoever your life partner is.
Can we say hypothetical that the man is doing the let's say the man is doing all the financial obligations, right? Mm-hmm. What's the role of a woman then? What's the role of a woman then? Can we talk about that part then? Can we get extra foot rubbed and Twitter?
So I was just about to go into that. So I feel like in today's time, you kind of need multiple people to run a household to actually stay above, I guess, I don't know, stay afloat in today's economy. But aside from that, me personally, I would like to stay home and create peace within my home, create a sanctuary within my home, nurture my child, you know. And I feel like if women, not that women should not have the option to work or, you know, to be treated equal as a man, but I do feel that if we were able to tap more into being a woman more, our children would be different. We would live in a different time right now, I think. So that's just my take on your question.
Can I say something? Ever since this phenomenon been going on, women been sucking at cooking, they've been sucking at household issues, like when you gain something, you lose something on the other end too. Like that's the way it goes. So like, what would you rather have? Like, you gotta pick and choose. Like, and as men, we gotta adjust too. Like, or do we? Do we gotta adjust? You think we gotta adjust?
There's always
Some, because every man ain't the same.
We gotta adjust, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Say you.
Some niggas ain't gonna adjust.
You a nigga, like you a leader.
Adjust to what though? Give me
the times that's the times. Mm-hmm. The women is getting to the bag now. Mm-hmm. How do we as men adjust? You get what I'm saying?
So let me ask you guys, what do you
Because
think?
some niggas, my bad.
No,
two seconds. Cause some niggas just start trying to compete with a woman, and that's the worst thing you can fucking do.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. I want to hear from both of y'all. Like, how would you adjust to that? If that were your situation, how would you play your role?
If a woman get the bag more than me, I'm gonna change my role. I might be a little better cheerleader. I might cheerlead a little bit more.
Yeah, man, I might rub her feet a little bit.
Yeah,
you know.
Working hard out
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't. I would, cause I ain't got no ego. It ain't gonna. I do got an ego, but it ain't minimalizing me as a man, cause I know, like as a man, you know where you at. You should always know where you're at or where you could get in. Like you should always do that. But me, I might be a little. I might cheat a little bit.
Hey, look, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So what do you guys feel, you men feel about women that play the role of a wife that's not wife?
Say it again.
Women that's playing wifey, they're just not wifey.
I mean, they
always say fake it till you make it. Fake it till you
But
make
most
it.
of
You
them
better
make
play
it.
that way.
And most of them ain't making it because they.
I mean,
No.
give an example because I'm trying
Fake it
to
till you make it.
Give an example.
A woman that's playing your wife, y'all aren't married. She's
Living
picking your
together, having
food.
kids.
She's
Doing
basically
I'm-
catering to you.
I'm gonna go back to that analogy.
You know, like I don't know how else to put it.
I'm gonna go back to
A
that
woman
analogy.
that is playing
Before I
all of
take
her
a
wife
car off the
and stuff.
lot, before I take that car off the lot, I'm gonna test drive it.
Y'all say that, but at the same time, like, I'm just going based on statistics, because statistics show that a lot of women who do a lot of that extra stuff tend to not be the ones to get married. From what I've diagnosed from a man, you can tell me this is wrong.
I don't know.
But what I've diagnosed from y'all make it. I'm going based on statistics.
What
I'm not trying to be
statistics?
funny.
What statistic? You just making
where-
shit up
where
now?
you getting
Okay, so like, let me just divert to because I know right now it's sounding fluffy to the women. Like, let's just have an honest conversation. Can we all agree that most of the women who do a lot are in a long-term relationship and typically are not actually getting married?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know that.
Okay, we not gonna be honest. Okay, that's cool. We don't have to.
I don't know that. Do you? How about you? You asking men?
From
you-
my experience,
I don't
what
know.
I have seen, women that do kind of go above and beyond in that sense tend to be the ones that get played, tend to be the ones that get taken advantage of.
Stay in a long-term relationship.
So, I to some degree, from my experience, what I've seen, I can agree with that.
But see, and only reason why I think that that's possible, because to y'all point, y'all may face that me. I'm assuming it's because to y'all point, it's like, why? What's the problem? Of course I'm married. She doing all this, all that. But then in reality, that's not really what's happening. So my assumption is, and I could be wrong, but what most male dating coaches and female dating coaches are saying is that, I'm saying male dating coaches and female dating coaches because both of them are saying the same thing in the sense that most men prefer a challenge and prefer dealing with women who they desire and who have set standards and make them have to rise to the occasion more so than a woman who just give it all out. A lot of the conversation, what's the old saying, like, he could be with a woman for 6 months and marry her, have been with you 16 years and not married you. So, I mean, y'all know more about that than I do because y'all are men, so I'm just curious to know, like,
Who fuck gonna be somebody for 16 years and not married?
I mean, I get, but you're kind of it's hard to have a conversation with you because you are a man who sought, found, and affirmed by marrying you did everything. So your state of mind, but I'm just saying, regardless of the fumbles that may have happened in between, your state of mind is different than a lot of, and you're young doing that. A lot of people are not on that level, so it's like your perspective altogether is different. Even when we on this panel sometimes and we're all arguing, I'll notice you'll come in and you'll try to, because, and again, that comes from it comes from a temperate mindset, which is typically a married mindset. So I feel like your perspective is going to naturally be different because you're like, yeah, I did find that. Yeah, and I married this. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
Why everybody think marriage is the ultimate goal? This shit. That's what I want to know. No slight to the married people at all. But I'm just saying, why is that the ultimate?
Why is it?
That's
Go.
the ultimate commitment.
Why is it not? So you asked, why is marriage the ultimate goal? My question to you is, why is it not? Why shouldn't it
Me personally, I just think it's way more things, way more grander things than just marriage. I think marriage got a bad rap in these days and times, and I think friendship is way more powerful than marriageship. I think liking a person, really enjoying the person is way more valuable than to have a contractual obligation to say, hey, we're gonna be together. When people get married, some people don't even know each other. They go through the motions, and then when they want to go against the grain, they go back to, hey man, I made a contractual obligation to this person that I'll be with them forever, which is stupid to me, but I don't know. It's just me. But I think friendship, I think honestship, I think that is way more fruitful than just being somebody who's married.
So then what is marriage to you then? Because what you just described is my idea of marriage. So what is marriage to you?
Marriage to me is just a simple thing. It's merging. It's just two people merging together. How you merge is how you want to put it, but it's two people merging. It's not that deep to me. Marriage is not really that deep in a way to me. We can that's in layman's terms. I just say merge. I say merge. What about you? What you think?
I mean, I think it's what you said about friendship. Honestly, I think it's you being who you are, but also connecting with a person in a more sacred way. Like, marriage for me is sacred. It's not simple. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
But you gotta say everything that comes with marriage though, because while you just saying that, oh, that shit sounds good as hell.
True.
But once you put the word contract in it, and everything falls after that, finances and all that other stuff that comes with it. But when you just saying, oh, it's just a tight friendship.
But let him tell it earlier.
Yeah, like,
you, Jesus, earlier you said all that comes without marriage. So now you're saying that comes with marriage, which is
he didn't say it comes
financial.
without marriage.
The financial aspect.
No, I was just
the way
saying
you
building
broke
with
it
somebody.
down.
No, I ain't never said marriage. I never said marriage. I
Right.
said building with somebody.
Right. Is out. You that marriage is not. Wait a minute. Marriage is not. You don't have to be married to somebody to do that. But you're explaining
No,
marriage.
I'm talking about financial as if your name in his name is on everything.
Mhm.
That's the contracts.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
I never said anything wrong with it. I mean, if
marriage
you like
is
contracts, you like contracts.
I'm just saying, but if marriage is supposed to be like a friendship,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you put contract on it, it gives it a bad stance.
Mhm.
Like, it's like a contract. Why it gotta be a contract?
But that's validation.
Well, it is, but again, going back to sacred, being sacred, it is the contract between you, your mate, and God.
See,
Wait a minute, let me finish.
But who?
But you didn't let me finish my point. The world has made it, for me,
a
contract financially and everything else. In my mind, when I say sacred, that's the contract. That for me, that's what it is.
Can I put this in a theory then?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say no, none of this shit. Let's go to our primitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
None of this government operated shit. None of that shit. How do you see a marriage? Because obviously we don't got no contracts if we're primitive. Let's just say we in nature. Let's just say we walk around naked as fuck, dick swinging, titties hanging. How are we married? Let's just say how we married. How are we married? That's the essence I would want out of a marriage.
You're married based on the laws of the land that you're in, but if that's not.
But guess what though? That's the catch. That's the kicker. That's the shit that I don't subscribe to.
It's not a catch if you vetted.
That's the shit. Yeah, we in Rome. We in Rome, but that's not our culture. So people like to adopt what Romans do. They say when you're in Rome, you do what Romans do. I don't want to do what Romans do. I want to do what we do when we in our natural motherfucking state of mind. So I'm gonna ask the question again. When my dick swinging and your titties hanging, how we get married?
Ladies, run.
By having sex.
Please run.
How do we get married?
By having sex.
That's your final
That's
answer?
what you want to hear?
I want to go through the whole panel of women. I want to go through the whole panel. I think
But
that's a
I'm
good
saying, is
question.
that what you want to hear?
No, I want to hear what you want to say. I want to hear what you want to say.
What he is saying
Run
is
for us.
by being
Go.
married, like.
Is that a bad question? Did I fuck that up with that?
Like when did we start getting
adopted
marriage
how we
and all that stuff?
operate with each other?
If you with a man who feel like.
Why-
No. Let me say something.
Let me
Let me say something the whole time. no.
Ask her the
No,
inception
let
of
me
marriage.
say
I
something.
guarantee she can't tell me that shit.
Ladies, I'm speaking to the viewers because I'm done with it. If you with a man who feel like marriage is exhausting, run. If you with a man who feel like it's a contract, it's just a contract, just a bad thing, just run. Because this is the mentality that's like taking place right now in the world in general.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about right and wrong. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I always go back to nature. If it's natural or unnatural, I want to know. Can anybody answer? She did answer.
I mean,
She said sex.
in a spiritual manner, that is you connecting with a person. Marrying a person is by having sex with that person. But in the world that we live in now, everybody having sex with everybody, so you can't kind of put it in that sense. But
so we in Rome. So like I said, we in Rome. We do what the Romans do. You feel what I'm saying? People. She said follow the laws of the land. Nigga, slavery was a fucking law. Like just cause it's a law don't mean it's right. Like nigga, like you. That's why I always go back. You gotta.
I didn't say follow the laws of the land. You said what is a way in which you know that you're. You asked the question. You said what is a way in which you know you're married. I said by the laws of the land, meaning that the laws of the land say that you're married because you have a
which
wedding.
You buy by the contract. Which you buy by the contract. Which you mean you act like a Roman. You still on Roman terms. You still on other people's ideologies that projected on you. Which is how we supposed to do shit, right? It ain't your natural state of mind.
So if you don't have a marriage license, that consider you not married.
I mean, look.
Yeah, it does technically.
I'm saying it's preference. I'm saying that going back to because people get married, men and men, women and women, man and women, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying that if you are with a person who can finesse you into feeling like you don't need to be married and you good with that shit, knock yourself right on out. I mean, look, you put it in great context. That's nice if you. I'm just saying that if your mission is that you want to be with somebody who loves you and honors you and respects you enough to want to walk over that threshold with you in the realms of being marriage, even if it is in your mind a legal binding document, well, I'm with you in perpetuity, so I don't give a fuck.
This is wrong with women.
If this is not something that man is interested in, what I'm saying is you don't have to level down to that foolishness.
This is what's wrong with women.
Keep going.
This is what's wrong with women and black women in general.
Oh, this is what's wrong with black women. Tell me.
I just want to say what I gotta say. It's gonna make a little sense.
Tell me. I'm interested.
Black women in general, cause we in Rome, cause black men ain't take no leadership role, because we ain't do what we need to do, cause when we don't do what we need to do, they adopt other people's ideologies, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And when they adopt other people's ideologies, guess what they're gonna do? They gonna make sure she is in accordance with it. They did it during slavery. That's why they used to whoop the shit out their children. Like, hey, listen
so they don't have marriage in Africa?
Ain't nobody talking about Africa.
You said black women. Africa. You said black women, and you're talking about adopting other people's mentalities. So I'm saying that going back to the origin.
What about the Indians? That was it. Like, don't do that.
I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question.
Okay.
You just said, did you not? You talked about adopting the laws of the land and how you take on other people's mentality because you're not leading. Okay, you said that. Y'all got it on camera. Cool. So I'm saying that if that's how you feel, and we go back to the root, the source where we come from, because you talk about black women. As a black woman, I'm black because I am African American, which means my origin is of Africa.
That's another topic.
They're not getting married in Africa. They don't have ceremonies for marriage. They don't have records in which they're able to keep and able to show which person is married to which person, which family comes from which family.
Well,
that's not something that's happening in our home country.
Africa's colonized, so they follow the leadership of Romans too.
They weren't doing it back then. There weren't records in which they show which people are married to which people. It don't matter if it was more than one person. I'm saying it don't matter if they're married 5 people.
When that was the culture.
You're telling me that they didn't have marriage then?
Tell me when that was the culture.
There was a culture.
Tell me.
That was an African culture. It's been around for a long time.
The whole complex of the things. Why are you getting married? There's people that never get married for love. They get married for
Don't say it.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
don't say it. Go ahead. My bad. Big lie.
Some cultures, you get married for the longevity of like your bloodline. Yeah, and love will come later. You better pray and hope it come later. And some people are still to this day, and even in the ancient times, they did that. Like, okay, if you want to marry, it was never really off of love. It was about bloodline or just keeping the family flourishing, like the empire, whatever the case may be. This kingdom works with this kingdom. They did it in Africa too. This tribe worked with this tribe. Oh, you will never get married from the person from this tribe. Why you think they got the whole, there's different variations of Romeo and Juliet. Because sometimes you not always get married to the person that you soulfully love. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you get lucky to do that. Like, there's a difference.
So do you marry for love? Like, is the inception of marriage was never based on love?
We are in a free space and time where you can get married, and for whatever reason you want to get married.
It depends
on your morality.
Right.
The inception of marriage was never based on love.
There are certain moralities that do say that you should love your husband and you love your wife. It depends on what level in which you're coming from. So I'm saying that if that's not your moral compass or your base, then that's you.
This is Disney.
And each
it's not Disney. What is Disney?
Because the inception of marriage was never based on love.
But we're not even talking about that. You're just saying like, you just made it sound like you degraded something that some people hold a high esteem for. You know what I'm saying? We can't
I'm trying to fuck it up on purpose. Because it ain't based on love.
Like, so if that's the case, then your niece need to not have.
Don't say nothing.
I'm saying if that's the case, they don't need to be married. Your niece don't need to have mom and daddy in a marriage. She don't need to see an example of that, because basically what you're saying is bullshit.
I would never attack them. I would only attack the psychology. I love them people. I would
no, it's not about them individually. I'm saying that in your context,
so
in your world, in your world, that's what that would look like.
She was made from love. I would never attack my niece.
Okay,
but
so
that's the context in which that you're speaking from.
You have a situation where two people have been together and they plan to be together and they procreate and make kids, and all of a sudden, boom, somebody died. Ooh, but you know what? There's no honored marriage or whatever the case may be. Family that you may not even got along with, or the state or whoever may come along, can have a say in whatever. Y'all could be what is it called? By law, marriage by what? Common law. That shit don't fly when it comes to
that's the contract.
Legacies, and when it comes to your estate, and when it comes to all this other stuff in order, that is a contractual thing, but it has a purpose. So I mean, we're in a day and age where our minds are free. You can be free. You can marry whoever you want. You can get together and never get married. So what are you saying? Like, why do you feel so bad about, you don't have to do this and the third?
The inception, look, the inception of marriage is trash because it was never off of love. We fucking made it into love.
So take marriage
That's
out
all
and
I'm saying.
You find another word. What's the word you replace for marriage? What is it?
Union, merging, friendship, shit like that. Like,
we are
really what it is.
For
like,
this union,
really what it is.
Sounds like a union to me.
Really? Okay, we all married then. No, but really what it is though, like, the contractual shit is real. They will bind you to a contract. I guarantee you, cause I'm sorry to say it, but since it's a married couple here, if they ever go through that shit, I guarantee it will never be about love. I guarantee it will never be about love. That shit will be about.
What?
If y'all ever divorce, if y'all ever go through a divorce, it would never be about the love. It would be about, hey, what the fuck am I getting out of this, and what the fuck are you getting out of this? It would never.
But what made you get there though? What's the reason that made you get there?
That ain't got shit to do. But that's what I'm saying.
It's not gonna be because
that ain't got shit. That don't got shit to do with. You get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying,
That's
but
all
I'm
I'm
saying
saying.
before you get there, what before you get to the point where you are discussing,
I see that. Nigga.
Before you get to the point where you're discussing who gets what got you to the point to even have the conversation about divorce?
Actually, why would you go there?
I'm just because you went there, so I want to know.
Who cares how I got there? The results are the results.
But
like,
you said it would never be on love.
You know why? Because we said earlier, 60% of women initiate the divorce.
There are
60% of women initiate the divorce?
Okay, I don't want to get into all that.
I know.
I don't know.
That's why I said
don't-
that, so you won't get into that.
Okay.
I just wanted to keep it
Stop
right
trying
there.
to distract me. No, I want to know what made you get there. What made you get to the point of divorce? But a side note, there are men and there are women that it's like, you know what, you can have all this. I don't care. I'm not gonna be
Get the
going
fuck
back
away
and
from
forth
me.
with you.
I don't think that's the point though.
And so, and then you have men that you do have people, they don't talk about it, but you do have people that mutually just divorce. They come to an agreement,
I'm
okay?
keeping it real.
You know, I need to take care of my child. We come to an agreement where it's cordial
I'ma
and we
keep it
just
real.
go our separate ways. It's not always volatile. So there's
I'ma keep it
several
real.
different
I'm gonna keep it real.
answers
Marriage,
to what you're saying.
I'm
But
keeping it
you
real.
gotta ask, you gotta answer my question though.
I will, but I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna ask me one more time so I can get it right. Marriage is a business, man. It's a straight business transaction, though. If you're not building business with your marriage, dog, the nigga is at a motherfucking disadvantage.
Unless you have a prenup.
Don't motherfucking marry off no motherfucking love. Love each other and filter that shit through friendship. Don't filter that shit through no motherfucking marriage. Filter that shit through friendship. If you want to get married, y'all better fucking build something. Now ask your question again. I want that
Now,
to marinate for the viewers.
on the flip side, oh, trust me, they marinating. But on the flip side of that argument, or that statement, is what I'm saying is that yes, divorce may occur. That is always a possibility that people can grow absent of each other. The idea in my mind is if you have something coming into a marriage, then there shouldn't be any. I don't know what's happening right now.
Go ahead.
If you have an asset when you coming into a marriage, there's always the option of having a prenuptial agreement, which is nothing wrong, especially if you had an established business before you got into marriage. You had a residence, you own property beforehand. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people agree to do that, especially if you're just like, y'all are both mature individuals, and y'all like, okay, hey, especially if you understand the business aspect of a marriage, which is something that you have been talking about. On the flip side of it, if you come to a marriage and you both have nothing and you're building, you might not feel the need to do that.
Don't get married.
You know what?
Alright, I'm stopping.
Because you are the climate. You are the climate. All the comments and shit you see, he is the epitome of the climate. And I think it's unfortunate because it's like it doesn't have to be that way. Everybody has to level down and try and figure out what exactly they're saying. Am I saying don't get married because I'm speaking from a place of fear? Or I'm speaking from a place of experience? That's okay to admit to that point. But I'm saying that if it's just always like, don't do this, this gonna end this way, it's gonna be that way, it's gonna be this way, it's nothing's gonna come out of that. Going back to the point that we had off camera about these precursors that you set before you even engage with a person, you're already dooming yourself because you're not open to the idea of something being different. And I forgot I'm talking to peons, so I'm.
You know why? Because if she the president of some peon, she a peon.
Yeah. Gotta look up to us, nigga, no pill. Cool clouds, fire proposition. Skybox view, I'm a young Jerry Jones, getting money, getting stoned, putting my niggas on, making sure our business on the top where we belong.